So what did you do to yourself on Easter?
Okay, so I left here on Thursday. I had podcasts to do through last Wednesday.
Right.
I left Thursday morning, and it was long before people always, when you get to a destination, you do a car drive.
Yeah.
People go, made it in 14 hours, 58 minutes, 32 seconds. And guess what? No one cares.
Nobody cares.
So my mom always goes, what time did you leave? And you got here. And it's like, Mom, I didn't know I was on the clock. Just give me a break here. So I told myself I'm waking up at the latest 4 o'clock. But if I wake up to pee, that's going to be my leave time.
Oh boy.
So at some point before the alarm went off, I woke up to pee. And true to myself, when I say I'm going to do something, that's the way I do it. I walked downstairs. I already had eggs boiled from the night before. I think I had like 4 or 5 of them. I can't remember now exactly. I poured some coffee in a thermos. I left some for Serena and got me some ultra fat, and I hit the road. Had a thing of water also. Now, I want to let you know how screwing up your diet can affect you for days later. Now, being a man of a certain age, I don't think this is a secret to anyone who's known a man who's 60 years old. We pee more than the normal person.
That's a thing, right? That's a prostate thing.
Yeah, your prostate enlarges just a little bit. It presses on this, that, and the other thing. Doesn't mean you're going to get cancer or whatever. I've had mine checked 1,000 times. No cancer, no nothing. But you just pee more.
Right.
And you got to go right now. Right? There's no, hey, next exit.
Oh no, you didn't pull that. Remember that astronaut woman who put on a diaper so she could drive? Yeah.
I think about her all the time. She's the woman I went and shot up. She wanted to get there to shoot up a boyfriend or a base or something.
Yeah, because I think he was cheating on her, or she thought he was cheating on her.
Yeah, and she was an astronaut, a NASA, truly a NASA, and she went. She didn't want to have to stop.
Yeah, God love her.
She wore a diaper. I think about that woman all the time. So this is what I want to note. My first couple of 100 miles, I stopped a few times. Now, in my defense, when you're drinking that early morning coffee, you're gonna, and I didn't eat anything. I just woke up, poured some coffee. No, I didn't even put heavy cream in it. I just rode. I had my water and my coffee, and I'm sipping it. I'm waking up, and coffee is a bit of a diuretic, so I'm probably peeing more for that. But as the day goes on, I'm going longer without peeing. Now this plays into what happens on the way back. So I get there in about 15 hours, maybe 14 hours. I don't know. 1,000 miles, 1,029 miles.
So you didn't like sleep anywhere overnight. You just went, because you went up basically in the middle of the night. You started driving.
Yeah. And when I got there. And you gain an hour because you cross the time zone. So that's always fun. I got there and it was still daylight. Okay. Ate a few ultra fats. I don't know how many, because I don't know how many I took.
If memory serves, because I watched the video, I saw that you had some in your car. It looked like you had, at least 3 or 4 in there.
I had a bunch in a Ziploc bag, and there was more. I keep them in my car in the little middle compartment, for when I'm doing other stuff. It's always around. So I probably had 2 or 3 of those. And over the course of whatever time I ate, I want to say 3 of the 4 eggs. You always want to keep one in reserve, keep an egg chambered up. Got home. Wasn't tempted. I got home, and what I ate that night was, my mom didn't really have anything I would eat. So I just fried up a bunch of eggs and had some bacon. That's what I had for dinner.
Wow.
Still very NSNG.
Yeah. My husband eats bacon and eggs for dinner all the time.
It works like a charm. So next thing you know, it's Friday, and I'm sticking NSNG. I don't have any reason to go off, and I didn't even plan to go off on Sunday. Went out to one of my favorite restaurants in Baton Rouge that night, Friday night, Louisiana Lagniappe. Now, you might not know my rule. Gina,
I know the rule.
What's the rule?
It's you have to eat fried catfish. Is that the rule?
I don't have to, but I can have fried catfish if I'm in the state of Louisiana.
Right.
So I'm at Lagniappe's and they make great everything.
Mm.
But I said, you know what? Kevin Ortega makes him, his restaurant, well, he does well. And I'm not gonna do my catfish tonight. So while we're looking at the menu, I turned to my mom and said, Ma, you want to go to Mike Anderson's Seafood tomorrow night? She goes, absolutely. I went, okay. Now I'm set. I know when I'm gonna have the catfish. There I am. I get some kind of fish dish with lump crab meat. Delectable. Great meal. I'm still NSNG. Got a good workout that day. I'm on a trip. Sometimes it's hard to work out.
Yeah.
The owner of the Anytime Fitness would not even let me pay. Please come in and join my gym. Very kind. I wish I could remember the guy's name. So now Saturday comes around, same deal. I go back to the gym. I'm staying on plan, right? Because when you're home, it's almost like a horse on a trail. You know what that means? You ever go back riding?
I have. And they like to snack on thistles and almost make you fall off, and they're very scary to me.
They will eat a dandelion as if it's a cherry pie. A horse will eat a dandelion. Now, you take a dandelion. I've had a lot of horses. You take a dandelion, throw it in their stall, and the only thing they'll do is take a leak on it, maybe a poop. But they will not eat it in the stall. Humans are the same way. There are things we won't eat at home. We get on the road and we become a horse. We're eating dandelions.
Yes.
Right. So Saturday, now we go out to Mike Anderson's and everyone's getting what they're getting. And I said, I want the thin fried catfish because Mike Anderson's done. And listen, folks, I know, you Louisiana people go, why don't you go to Middendorf's? Got my parents, they're old. We want to go 15 minutes from the house. Middendorf's is a destination. I get it. They have better fried catfish. I'm not a broken Cajun. I don't think Captain Anderson's is making better fried catfish than the great Middendorf's. I agree with you, but it's in my backyard. That's where I'm going. Okay. Because they will write to me. Gina, why don't you go? Hey, bro, you don't know anything about catfish.
Do they really call you a broken Cajun?
No, I just called myself that.
Oh, that's a great name. That's
Broken
a good
Cajun.
band name.
Yeah, you know what? Mike Dawson should change the name of his band to Broken Cajun.
Yeah, he would just have to do every fifth song would have to be Zydeco, but yeah.
He's good friends with a guy from down on the bayou, Mike is, whose dad was, I want to say one of the Zydeco Kings.
Really?
Yeah, I can't remember which one it is. I met the guy with Mike one night when I went out to watch him play.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
So the thin fried catfish.
Yeah. What do you want with it? Nothing. But it comes with two sides. So now I'm just going, okay, who's going to eat something?
Yep.
And of course, my family, get the twice baked potato.
Jeez.
Right? Because none of them listen to me.
No collard greens and coleslaw or anything like that.
No, they want the twice baked potato. There's none of that. And get the hush puppies. You
you gotta get the hush puppies. Do I know it? I'm from Kansas. Of course I know what a hush puppy is.
It's the most seed oil you can absorb into a piece of corn bread.
Yeah, it's basically, even though one's garbanzo beans and one's corn, it's basically like a white person's falafel.
Wow. No one's ever put it that way, but yes.
I don't think they have. It's like like a corn tot.
Corn tot. Another great name for a band. Hey, they're all under 12 years old. They're called the Corn Tots.
Corn Tots.
Yeah. Okay. So the fish comes. And something happened to me that night that's never happened to me before in the history of eating fried catfish.
Oh, God, okay.
I didn't finish it.
What? Why?
And it tasted great. 2 pieces in, I'm like, you know what? I start thinking about how this is going to make me feel and the seed oils and the grains. And as much as I love the way this tastes, I'm not, you know, I'm not picking up what they're putting down here anymore.
Yeah.
I've now graduated to a state of going, I don't care how great this tastes. It's like when you learn that, hey, I can have 1.5 drinks. If I go to 2, I could wake up with a headache.
Right. You know exactly what your limit is, and you're able, you know what you're able to do? You're able to time travel, which most people in that situation are not. You are able to time travel into the future and really feel how you're going to feel and know that it's not worth it. Most of us are just like, oh, that's tomorrow Gina's problem. But because you were able to time travel in this moment, you said, I know what this is going to do to me, and I'm going to stop here.
But Gina, for me, I've spent a lifetime in the world of delayed gratification.
True.
I knew if I went to college and got a degree, I can be a lot further along than if I just got a job at CF Industries that would pay me more than any job out of college would pay me. I always knew that, hey, work out really hard, then game day is going to be easy.
Yeah.
And fun. Always just doing what it takes. And I'm always thinking ahead. But with catfish, that was always the kryptonite. Just kryptonite. I love fried catfish. It reminds me of my life as a kid, my grandparents. Yeah. And, food reminds me. Marcel Proust has written a lot about people like me who can just go right back to something from a smell or a taste. Or
the madeleines, the
exactly.
Cookies. Yeah.
So and I'm there with my mom. I'm there with my loved ones. My sister-in-law is one of them. A couple of my brothers. I just didn't finish them. Didn't make any bones about it. Just had a couple of pieces. No one said anything. It's like I graduated to some weird level that I never thought I could get to in my life.
It's like you've reached another level of enlightenment.
Now we're going a little too far, but I get what you're saying.
Enlighten your weight int.
But we're talking about a mudfish. Somehow you've enlightened yourself.
Yeah, they are pretty disgusting.
It's
They're
a bottom feeder.
Yeah.
But boy, is it delicious.
Have you ever gone noodling?
Of course.
Try to catch them with your hands? Okay, gross.
Yeah, what we would do is during spawning season, you would take, the gutter pipe is, it's the pipe that comes down from the gutter.
Oh, yeah, the little turny one. Yeah.
Yeah, but, we would just take whole sections of it, right? About 2 feet.
Yeah.
And what you do is you take a hammer and you crimp off, you knock one end down to where, you don't have to close it all together.
Yeah.
And on the other side, you bow a hole and you hook a string and you let the string come to the surface and you use anything that floats. Usually an empty milk jug is all you need. So you just go out and we'd put them in Lake Verret or what have you. And, you line up about 8 or 10 of them in a row and you wait overnight. And then the next morning you wake up and you get in the water and you walk along the kind of grassy, muddy bottom.
Yeah.
And you get to the first string, the first bottle.
Yeah.
You run your hand down. So sometimes your face is in the water and everything, but you run your hand down the string when you get down to the end of the string. So if this is the thing and this is the closed off end.
Yeah.
You just hold your hand over the back end, you lift it up. And in general, you're going to have 2 fish in there.
Really?
Yeah, the female that went in first and the male that went in behind her. Spawning season.
Wow.
Yeah. So, that's how Cajuns fish.
That's some good eating.
Oh, yeah. You have 10 of those and you're going to have yourself 20 fish. That's more than you want to clean for any one day. Because people think hunting and fishing, the fun part is when you're hunting or fishing.
Right.
You got to come home and clean all that. And that's the work.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And I would say, as somebody who's never killed another living creature, if somebody handed me a knife, a paring knife or whatever the hell you use, or a gun, and said, you're in charge of killing or you're in charge of cleaning, I would say, gun all day, every day. Please don't make me clean it.
Really? Like the
I think
guts, you
so.
get squeamish on the guts and all
Oh
that?
God, yeah. You saw what I went through with my reduction surgery. I could hardly
Yeah.
look at myself.
I think I looked at your boobs more than you looked at your
You
boobs.
looked at, yeah.
You were like, you think this oozing is okay? And I'm like, yeah, I don't, might want to go
Yeah,
see.
I made my recovery everybody's problem. That was and that's why I said good luck to any hacker who steals the pictures off my phone. You will live to regret it. Because
Yeah.
I documented everything
Yeah. There wasn't anything sexy going on in your shirt for a while.
for a good 3 months. Anyway, you had your catfish, you put it down, and
I
that
put it
was
down.
it. And then you never went back for anything else.
Yeah. That was it. I was just, it's like, it wasn't worth it. So,
Yeah.
um, got home. I was still hungry. So I fried up a couple of eggs. I hadn't
Yeah.
eaten. And
Right.
so I just fried up a couple of quick eggs and went to bed. Okay. Sunday comes around. My brother's having a hootenanny. He's
Oh,
having
what a nanny.
a hootenanny, baby. We're going to throw down. It's going to be a Livingston Saturday night. Let's change it to a Jimmy Buffett song. Let's go from Louisiana Saturday night to a Livingston Saturday night. And my brother says, "Hey, Vin, get there early because we got 25 people coming." So I get there early. I had to go down to Thibodeau. So anyone that knows that area, I had to go down the bayou, as they say, and I'm in Thibodeau. We got 35, 70 plus 40 is what? That's one. We got 110 pounds of crawfish to boil.
What?
So we got to clean them. But cleaning those, you put them in a big thing. You clean them, and then you have to purge them with salt and everything. And then, and every Cajun has their own recipe as to how many packets of Zatarans and what you do here and how much food. A lot of potatoes go in there.
Yeah, potatoes and
Different
corn,
potatoes.
right?
Corn goes in there. People put pineapple.
Oh
They
wow.
do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, you could cook anything in that seasoning. I do a thing on my Instagram. You can see where I was in the kitchen. I had, I think, 8 or 10 pounds of sausage that I cut up and threw in there. Ooh, you want to talk about the best sausage I've ever eaten?
Was this the andouille?
It wasn't andouille. Put a.
It's not andouille.
It's not a hard L. No, andouille. I'll teach you how to speak French, baby.
You got to.
Yeah. So we got the sausage in there. Of course, you got to put some potatoes because we're going to be potato eaters.
Sure.
The lemon, we put all the normals. The corn is in there. But if you just eat crawfish and you just eat sausage, that's completely NSNG.
Right.
There's a problem.
What could the problem possibly be?
The Jordina family's coming over. Do you know who Rosanna Dana is?
From the old Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Rosanna Dana.
And how you talk like this?
Yep.
Okay. My mom's sister-in-law, my mom's brother just died. My mom's sister-in-law, who's like her sister, her two daughters, when they come in, the pitch of the room changes. It's like three Rosanna Danas just walked in.
Oh Lord. Oh God.
I am not making this up.
Oh.
And they talk over each other. You ever hear the Sklar brothers and
The best.
one talks over the other, but you understand everything that's going on?
Yes.
The
Yes.
Jardinas are the same way. I don't know. It's like, did you guys work out this routine ahead of time? But East Jardina has big pastry. Oh, we made this all night. And oh, look at it. So they're bringing stuff. So, and they're bringing food. And my mom shows up with my dad. She's got 2 big vats of shrimp fettuccine. She woke up that morning and started making.
That sounds amazing.
Then other people, I said 25 people, everyone's showing up. Jews and Italians, this is how we're alike.
Mm.
Everybody's got a dessert and a
Mhm.
dish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't show up empty-handed.
No. And while Mark was doing the crawfish, because he's got the thing, it works itself and the whole thing, he's got the whole Cajun rig up. He says, Vin, listen, there's this dish I want you to go. So he gives me three tins You know how you put the muffins in? They got like each tin has
Yeah, like each
12
little
slots.
compartment. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, what I want you to do is put a piece of butter on the bottom of every one of these, and then put this cheese. It's freshly grated mozzarella. He goes, just drop a little bit in each one with the oil. And he goes, all right, and then put the seasoning, put that in there, and then drop a scallop in each one.
Oh God.
So we had 12, 24, 36 of those. And he goes, now take them out to the grill and grill them in that grill. Just
Oh,
best thing I ever put in my mouth. Now I'm looking around going, I can escape all of this because, right, I can have the grilled scallops.
yeah.
I can do the crawfish. I got sausage in there and
Yeah.
I'm set,
You're
right?
good.
But I'm with relatives. Their dad just died. It was old times. Someone brings me a glass of wine.
I don't know. I don't like this. Kristen Scott Thomas isn't there.
I called Serena. I said, Serena, can you just look at me? I can pretend to Scott Thomas. No, I'm kidding. My cousin comes over. She comes over. She brings me the glass. I'm sitting there around the pool.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying with her. I break my Kristen Scott Thomas rule. Next thing I know, maybe an hour past. Now, I made it through everything. Maybe an hour past. Someone hands me a beer. They already cracked it for me. It's a Sam Adams.
Okay.
I think my first Sam Adams ever. It was
It's a tasty
delightful.
beer. Yeah, it's
But
great.
now I'm feeling some carbs. Right.
Oh
I had
boy.
some wine earlier and now I'm
Yeah.
having it. Beer is to me, it's liquid bread.
It is.
It's liquid bread. Now I'm like, oh boy. And then somebody comes over and says, it was my mom. You got to try this. No, ma, I don't want. You know, you don't understand. So and so over there made this. She wants you to try. And I'm like,
Oh
oh boy.
God.
All right. It's dessert.
What
It
was
is.
it?
It was a carrot cake, and
Ooh.
that can't be easy to make.
Yeah, with a cream cheese frosting.
So I eat a piece of carrot cake. I got to be honest. You know, I'm a sugarholic.
Yeah.
Right now I'm in the throes. I'm in the throes, Gina.
Yeah. It's almost 1, 2, 3 coma for you.
I don't know. It's like I might have to sleep it off before I
Yeah.
drive back to Donaldsonville.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing here. And then my other sister-in-law, non-Italian, and you're going to understand what I'm talking about in the story. She goes, "You got to try this cookie. You got to try this cookie, and it's got icing on the. It's like a chocolate chip cookie, and it's got icing on it." So I'm thinking she made this. I take one bite into it. It's the fake icing.
Oh
It's
no.
I could tell because remember when I was eating the Pop Tarts and the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Like as soon as it hit my mouth, I can taste that it wasn't.
Yep. The coating.
I got the coating on my mouth, and I'm like, I thanked her for it. I put it down. I'm enjoying. Put it down. As soon as she was gone, I flung it over the fence. Made it the neighbor's problem.
Good. Let the squirrels eat it.
Yeah, somebody's going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
I go in the house later, and I see that she stopped at a place, got the white trash, big giant cookie. Yeah, it's like all one big giant cookie with icing all over it.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, no wonder this tasted like something Gina would give me. It was horrendous.
Oh
It
God.
was
Where it just sweet is not a flavor. I always tell my stepson this, like, oh, it's so good. And I take a bite. No. It's just sweet. That's not a flavor. It's not delicious.
you could taste the seed oils in it. So now I've had some seed oils the night before. I have this. I have this day of
Debauchery.
debauchery for me. Most
Yeah.
people are going, dude, you're a wimp. I do that on a Tuesday. I get it.
Yeah.
But when you live a certain way, man, so now I go home. I go back to my mom's house. And I see my mom and dad there, and I set up everything. I said, guys, listen, I'm planning on waking up at 4. But if I wake up and pee, I'm on the road. I don't make up. Do you know how American Indians, the Braves, do you know how they got up to battle?
No,
They would drink a lot of water the night before. That was their alarm clock. They would have to wake up and pee.
that's brilliant.
Yeah. Look, I didn't make up the stuff. I learned from the Indian. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, you learn from the best. And you
Yeah.
don't push that snooze. You don't go pee and then go back to bed. That's the alarm.
There's no snooze in my life.
Right.
You snooze, you lose.
That's right.
I like to say I make this up, but I don't. So I got up to pee at some point, and it was pretty early. And when I peed, I hit the coffee machine. That was being made. I'm brushing my teeth. My bags are already in the car, the whole deal. Now I'm driving back, only hours after this debauchery,
Yeah.
right?
You really beat up your insides where everyone else, it's just a normal party.
I can't get out of the first swamp when you leave Donaldsonville. I can't, for anyone who lives down there, I get on I-10. I wasn't even I didn't get anywhere near Laplace. I had to pull over. It's like, I'm peeing. And I went, early morning pee. And because I drank a lot of water, my mouth was dry, the whole thing. I got my thing here. I carry this everywhere
Little
with.
canteen. Yeah.
And I drank one of these when I woke up that morning and the whole thing. By the way, I had boiled eggs on the way back and the same thing that I had on the way there. I can't even, I'm in Kenner. I'm peeing again. Gina, that's 10 miles down the road.
So what I'm guessing, not being a doctor, but knowing you long enough, is you are suffering from some pretty severe inflammation. That's my guess.
Well, here's the thing. By the time I got to my third pee, which was somewhere around Slidell, I'm still going through swamp after swamp, right? Third pee, I stopped for a while and I just kept drinking water. I kept sipping my coffee. I hadn't eaten anything yet. The rest of that trip, I was peeing as if I hadn't peed, like that. It sounds gross to the audience, but I want to say in The Spy Who Shagged Me, when they wake him up and they take him, and he's just at the urinal and he's peeing. I was having pees that just went on forever.
And every pee was an emergency.
Oh,
it wasn't like, I'll hold it.
I don't get to the gas station. I don't even try for the gas station. I just pull off on exits and just walk around to the other side of my car. It looks like I'm checking my kayak on the top.
Sure.
And I just pee. No one bothers me.
Smart.
But Gina, I'm telling you, I've never had anything like this in my life where it was just constant, my body all day long just purging itself and peeing and peeing and peeing, to the point where at some point I got out of my luggage in the back. I started taking ultra salt. It's like I'm losing my electrolytes at this point. I ate my eggs. I put extra salt on those. I kept drinking water down. By the time I got home, I was completely empty. I was depleted of everything. But that's the difference between when you're eating right and when you're not eating right. Does that make sense?
It does. And that's so interesting because when we talk about, eating sugar or eating grain, after we've been off of it for a while, we talk about everything. We talk about, my husband, he'll tell you it's the muscle soreness that he feels right away. When he's playing basketball and stuff, he gets that inflammation. Me, it's my stomach and I'm just so exhausted. Like you, I can't even open my eyes. But what we don't generally talk about is your body desperate to flush all this stuff out and how much you pee. That's so, it makes sense.
Yeah, look, all day yesterday, I was home for a whole day before this is the second day I've been home. All day yesterday, headache. Just slight headache. You turn your head, you can feel it. My neck problem, hurting, everything. It's just crazy.
It makes sense. My dad, who was very hypoglycemic, would always say, and he was, he wouldn't touch sugar. He was early money on the no carbs, but he would say, nope, I'm going to get a sugar hangover. Because that's exactly what it feels like. You have a headache, you're sluggish, you feel nauseous, you're tired. It's a sugar hangover.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I remember when I was in college, I would work at one of the clubs. I was a bouncer. I was a cooler.
Love that.
I was actually a cooler.
I could see that.
But no, I was the guy at the front door. I was always the head guy. That's not an easy job, by the way, to be good at what you do, because people think you just go in and just kick butt.
Yeah.
Your job is to stop fights.
Yeah, like Patrick Swayze, be polite.
Yeah, but and it gets bad sometimes. Uh,
But didn't you have girls throwing themselves at you to get in the bar?
they didn't have to because the deal is at bars, we had clickers in each end. You ever see, I don't know
Yep.
if they use clickers anymore.
Yep.
One clicker was guy, one clicker was girls. And you had to keep a ratio of guys to girls. They want 2 girls to every guy. That's the ratio in club.
What?
If they can have 3 girls to every guy, that's perfect.
That's what those clickers are for.
Yeah.
I had
That,
no idea.
why do you think there's a line and then other people just walk past the line?
I never really put that together.
Notice the people passing the line. And look, I'm just telling you the way nightclubs work.
Wow.
Women walk in with 80% less money than guys,
Sure.
but guys buy women drinks.
Correct.
And so you need to have, if guys came in there and say, order a beer and just hang out, order another beer and hang out. When you're talking to guys, but when they're ordering a drink for them and for her, and then
Yep.
she rejects you 5 minutes later, now you're buying another one for another girl. It's good business is how it works.
That's A to C math, because you would think, well, why would you let more of the people in that don't bring the money? Because the people who do have the money are more than making up for it.
Why is it girls drink free? Why is it girls pay no cover?
Because they're the honey that attracts the flies.
Yep. It's, as I told my daughter, I won't get into that. At any rate, it didn't pay off.
Right.
It did not pay off.
Now, here's the question, because I said before that you had a time machine. If you could do the whole weekend over again, would you have enjoyed the catfish? Would you have had the beer? Or would you, if you could do it all over again, would you have said no and been no fun for anyone?
I would, knowing, look, I mean, this catfish thing happened to me one time. It was the first time in my life. I'm a little perplexed by it.
Yeah.
But if I had given up anything on a weekend, it was the catfish the night before. I could have gotten myself anything that didn't have sugars or grains and done it that way. But the seed oils, that was the beginning of the debauchery. I can start feeling it,
And people are starting to believe you. I think this should be another show because I definitely would have to do a little more research. But all the TikToks and the Instagrams and the I'm a doctor. No, I'm a doctor. Everybody's suddenly talking about seed oils, and this is the first time hearing of it outside of you.
Yeah. Well, Kate Shanahan has been a proponent. First time I had her on this show was probably 10 years ago, and she was on it back then. She was the one that got me looking at it.
Wow.
Right. Because back then we were still taking Udo's oil and, drinking just from a teaspoon, canola oil and all these different kind of oils,
Well, the only thing that keeps me from using it when I'm cooking is I just hear you saying it's sewing machine oil. And then I put it back.
Yeah. And the difference between sewing machine oil or gun oil, which is the same as sewing machine oil, do you know the difference?
Mm-mm.
Oil generally does not have an odor. It's got a bit of an oil odor, but that's about it. If you notice, 3-in-1 oil has kind of a smell. Hops, gun guys could tell you what hops number 9 smells like. That's a solvent, but it smells like rotten bananas, and it's a very actually lovely smell. Oils, they add odor to, just like the gas that they send to your house.
Right.
That gas is odorless.
Right. So you don't blow your house up.
They add a perfume so you go, smell gas.
Yes.
You're not smelling gas. You're smelling the odor they added to a colorless, odorless product.
Right.
Same thing with oils. They want you to not drink it, so they add an industrial smell to it.
Got it. And I can smell it right now.
Right.
Because I have cleaned a gun or two, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, CRP has its own smell. Rim oil has its own smell. Hops has its own smell, and we know any guy who is a gun guy can wave it under. They'll tell you exactly which company it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I would very much not like to fry my food in that or put it over my salad.
But it's the same thing, or pretty close to it. So. And by the way, folks, I'm being a bit facetious because some of these oils are, they're derived from crude oil and everything else and petroleum products, but not much different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Gina,
Yep.
that's the deal. You
That's
know,
the deal.
I paid the price.
And even you, the great Vinnie Tortorich, who does tell people to put life into living. Don't have the if you're dying for dessert and you never have any, have the good stuff. Don't have the crap. You did it, and there's as Dr. Drew says, there are no free lunches in nature, and
No.
you're gonna feel it.
And even though I stayed pretty much on a straight and narrow until I got to those desserts and the catfish and of course the wine and the beer, you know, I was perfectly fine. And I never, you know, had I thought through, hey, tomorrow there's going to be a big wing ding at my brother's house,
Right.
probably wouldn't have done the catfish at all.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I went to Louisiana Lanyap's in order not to get the catfish the first night. But, you know, when your 85-year-old mom is going, hey, when are you catfish? And I'm like, okay, we'll go to Mike Anderson. You know,
Yeah.
it's your mom.
Yeah. Even though, does she not get what you're about?
No, she does because she got on board. My mom was
That's
overweight her entire life. She's
right.
127 now.
Wow.
She's at her high school weight in her 80s.
That's
And she
amazing.
spent her entire life white knuckling it, one diet after another. Just I watched her lose 100 pounds one summer.
Well, I know when she was ill or broke maybe something,
She
broke her
broke
leg.
she broke her leg and her arm.
Oy, and you went down to sort of be the catch-all provider. She lost a lot of weight because you were doing the cooking and the shopping.
Well, that's when she started saying, wait a minute. That was her big clue. She was like, this is how you eat? I said, Ma, I'm not going to cook for you and daddy and me. This is what I eat every day.
Yeah.
And that's when I came up with what Anna now calls bachelor chili. It was the protein on protein crime, where I used,
Remind us.
it was sausage. I took, yeah, I looked in the fridge and went, okay, I got a lot of stuff here that needs to go. Everything must go, right? So I took the sausage. I had 2 pounds of ground beef. I put the sausages in the oven because I didn't want to give anybody listeria or anything. So I cooked it there for a bit and I browned the meat. And I was boiling some eggs. So I had the eggs. So it was like, here's one protein, here's another protein, here's a third. And I went, how am I going to season this? I hadn't done anything. Anna was so kind. She sent me a bunch of her cans of gravy. I call them gravy, but the sauces, the Anna
Yes.
Vicino Eat Happy sauces. And I just cracked one of those open and poured it in there and just mixed it all together. And then I grated some cheese on there and just got the cheese in there. It was like this chili from hell. Nothing has. I was putting cayenne. I was throwing a little cayenne.
Oh
in there,
my
a little
God.
extra salt. Boom. You know, that thing. My parents were like, "Where did you get this recipe?" I said, "Ma, this is Anna's sauce on top of." I just threw everything in the pot. You understand? I just threw everything in a big giant pot and stirred it. She
That's
couldn't believe
great.
it.
That's so great.
Yeah.
So she thought, like we all were brought up to think that losing weight meant you were going to give her one lettuce leaf, two if she was good,
Yeah.
and she didn't know that you could eat.
Gina, we could do 5 shows on the diets I remember my mom doing as a kid.
5. How scoot over, I'll join you.
You know, cabbage soup diet, Cambridge diet. This diet, you get to eat 4 eggs on the first day, and on the second day, you eat 5 eggs. On the third day, you eat nothing but a piece of celery, and on the 5th day, you have another piece. You have a piece of cabbage, and then you go back to 2 eggs.
Yep.
I mean, these diet, and it sounds like I'm making this up.
Nope.
Folks, this is pretty close to the truth.
Very close. We used to get these giant boxes of quote unquote diet cookies sent to our door. Giant cookies with carob chips in it. So they were diet.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I can thank the internet for. Folks, Gina Grad is the voice of LA Magazine. She does shorts. She does longs. She's on the Brian and Gina Does Hollywood. What's the
Brian
thing?
and Gina show from LA Magazine.
Brian, Bryan, and Gina show, LA Magazine. Go check it out. You're going to love that.
Yeah. You can go right to the YouTube channel, LA Magazine's YouTube channel. Everything's on there, or you can enjoy the podcast. And of course, My Extra Mom, the book, is still available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Go get that book. I have a copy sitting right here on my desk. And every time I like to pick up and read things, and I've read it all the way through a couple of times. Well, I didn't read the little baby story at the front, but I read the back. And there's so many things I wish I had known when I was step parenting a 10-year-old.
No,
you just can't know. And it was a girl, and I grew up in a house of boys. I didn't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And so it is not easy, folks. And this book really would have been something for me.
Thank you.
Since I forgot to tell, I'm not going to give you guys anything except we still have a promo code right now at purecoffeeclub.com. It's promo code Vinnie. I think it's 15% off.
Nice.
And if you go to, because we can't give the whole 20% off on that, coffee is so expensive. But if you've never tried my coffees, purecoffeeclub.com, promo code Vinnie for the month of April 2023 only.
My guess is the margins on that coffee is pretty thin.
The reason high-end coffees cost so much is because, look, that business is a labor of love.
Yes, that was what I assumed.
Yeah, it is, because I love coffee. I love that people like my coffee. And folks, also, I just recorded with Mike Rowe again. So I don't know if it came out this week, but if it did, hello to all the brand new Mike Rowe people. If not, I'll say this again next week. Because when we did Mike Rowe the last time, we got hundreds of thousands of new listeners.
Fabulous.
And so I did another show with Mike and Chuck, and really had a great time. And that's it. Go check out VinnieTortorich.com. Before you go to Amazon, we also have the PDF and blah, blah, blah. By the way, the Mike Rowe people, that's what a PDF is at VinnieTortorich.com. Mike and I talked about it. Mike downloaded it. Chuck downloaded it. They both lost weight. You might want to do the same thing. Gina downloaded it.
Oh, years ago. Years ago.
Yeah. So there you have it. On behalf of Gina Grad, let's see if I can pull this. Yeah, I can find this. On behalf of Gina Grad, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living, and let's do it with a little Jimmy Buffett.